Добрий день. Витаем у Польши. Сейчас вы в безопасности. Это самое главное. Немножко надо подождать. Ну что поделать? Идут.
When I left, it was really heartbreaking, first of all, because I'm leaving everybody, like my friends, my boyfriend, he cannot move out of the country, but I have a job over here, so I thought it's better to go and just earn some money, because you have to leave somehow. Your life is just ruined, you know, for the moment. Your friends, your relatives, family, you have to leave everything behind. Sometimes you just cannot be together. I took my cat. I have a cat here. I'm so thankful that they're letting us to go with animals without, you know, chips, without vaccines and stuff, because you know, leaving them behind is something that I cannot really do. When you're there, I don't know, this is the scariest, I think, the scariest moment. I still have nightmares, actually, with rockets flying right into my house. I even have a piece of rocket that fell right on the rooftop of my house. Some of the people who I know, they died. Very young people, parents, everybody. I don't know. This is a harsh topic to talk about, I think.
War has been a part of the human history from the beginning of time. From Cain and Abel to World War I, World War II, the American Civil War, war in the Middle East, and many more could be named. But I doubt that there is a lot of persons out there who can understand the true meaning of war and what is there to be benefited from war. And aside from the fact that there are thousands, if not millions of persons who a war can affect in many different ways, such as their economy, such as their livelihood, and such as their own lives and trauma that they can face during that time. So the inspiration for this video is based on the Ukraine and Russia war that is currently happening at the shooting of this video. So I'd like to take the time out to explain completely what is here to be benefited from this war and why it is happening in the first place. So if you're new to the channel, please go check out my previous video on why Russia has invaded Ukraine and why that war is currently happening. So first and foremost, I would implore you to subscribe to this channel and like this video if you would like to see more content like this. Now without any further delay, let's get into the video. Firstly, I would like you to understand what the term war means and not the definition of what the actual word is. But instead, I'd like to bring to your attention a deep unpacking of this word and where it actually came from. So historians believe that the first recorded war in history was between the Sumerians and the Elams in 2000 BC, and this war was brought on by Elam Bagrasi, who led the Sumerians a victory over the Elamites. So based on history, this war was brought on by two political powers, which is often the case of war, modern and in the older days. So the common behavior of war is almost always enacted by two or more countries in a political disagreement, an armed conflict, or a group of people within these countries that is disrupted by human flow or a behavior of the people within themselves. But a lot of these wars that have went down in history as being the greatest and the most disruptive of people and their environment is because of more than one thing than just politics. A lot of the times it has to do with greed, corruption, and the persons overstepping their ground and retaliating and advancing in ways that wouldn't have been necessary in the first place. Take for instance an example that is unfolding right in front of our eyes in 2022 at the recording of this video, and that is the war that Russia had started between them and Ukraine. So if you've watched my video when I've explained exactly what happened and why that war is now happening, you would have realized that for the most part of this war, the meaning and the reason for it happening would have been an obsession of something that someone had experienced once in their life, and something that they've idolized and wish and hope and try their best to bring back into place in the modern times. So clearly you must understand now that war is something that has to deal with a mental state of a leader or a dictatorship that a country is under. And in most cases, it doesn't have anything to deal with the actual country or the people of the country. It is something that one or a group of persons has decided that yes, it is time for me to make a move because I want this to be done and I need this country or this group of people to be doing it for me, and there is nothing that they can do to stop it, and it means full-on war. No matter the cost, whether it's materials, money, or the people of the countries themselves. It can be either side or both at once. No one is willing to back down, and that is war. So it's time for us to actually dive deep into this and find out who are the real beneficiaries of war and how do they actually benefit from this. And the first one I would like to bring to your attention is the military within itself. Now this one might be a bit controversial. Reason being is that the benefits come with the military right off the bat. So if you actually join the military, there are a lot of things that you can benefit from as a civilian who is going into the military. A guaranteed paycheck for one, cash bonuses, educational benefits, advances and special training, 30 days of annual paid vacation, option for full-time or part-time services, tax-free rooms, boarding allowances, health and dental care, a use of commissionary and military exchange for stores, special home loans and discounts, unparalleled patriotism, duty, honor, and selfless service, highly sought after skills and leadership and training expertise. And that's just a few things that you can actually do and earn as a benefit in the military as a civilian. And a lot of persons have the rumor that the military does not pay well, and there is a myth that the military's benefits and paychecks aren't as competitive for the civil sector, and that is just a lie. It is highly competitive. It is highly competitive and has a high benefit of packages that you can get as being a person of the military. And the best part about it is most of these things that I've mentioned can be accessed even if you aren't in the line of duty immediately at that point in time. And even if you go into the line of duty, you'll have a guaranteed insurance coverage package for your family in case of death or in case of your dismemberment or any form of handicap. Another set of people who benefit from war is the arms company. These are the companies that produce everything that is needed for war. Guns, ammunition, rocket launchers, weaponry, tanks, housing, tents, suits, everything that you can actually think of is being produced by these people. And these are some of the most wealthiest persons in the game of war. There was a 1.1% increase in global military spending in 2017, according to the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. The global rise was driven partially by a 9.6 billion hike in US arms expenditure. In the United States, the largest defense spender by a world margin. Though it is yet unclear why America is growing so much in the international game of arms. The total arms amongst the world's 100 largest defense contractors topped out at $398 billion in 2017, after climbing for the third consecutive year. Notably, Russia is one of these countries who are fastly growing in the military game, and I think we know why. In 2002, Russia has overtaken United Kingdom for the first time, and now they have generated so much military defense over the past 10 years that they are now a force to be reckoned with. And this is why the arms games is the part of the war that is making a lot of benefits. There are a lot more points that I could make that could reinforce this topic and explain further to you that there are a lot of benefits from war. But despite all of those points that I could make, I want to bring to your attention one of the most prevalent one, and one that we don't really take notice to, and that one is the resources of the losing country. In most cases, when two countries go to war, the losing country would normally be the country that is taken under the wing of the winning country and is being ruled over by that winning nation. And that is shown time and time again in history, where, for instance, Africa was a nation of its own self, and despite it not being a country that has been to war per se, there has been a lot of resources that have been taken from this country and is still being taken up until this point because they have lost that war. For instance, France is still the biggest gold miner in Africa. And another instance could be easily drawn up by America. America has control over a lot of countries, and based on these controls that they have over a country, they can take and use the resources of the countries that they have hands in. For instance, Hawaii. Hawaii was a nation within itself until America went down there and then took control of what Hawaii has in their own. And now Hawaii is fighting for their own country back and their real roots that America had almost wiped out and hid from the real people of Hawaii. And this is the thing that is the most lucrative part of war, and this is fueled intentionally to be won in the state of war. So as usual, thank you for watching this video. I hope that you've learned something from it. This is Concept of the Mind, and for more informational videos like this, you can consider subscribing, liking and sharing this video to your friends and family and everyone you just might know about.